Now, the Transport Department has temporarily suspended the eviction of families at Lwandle informal settlement outside Strand in Cape Town. Earlier this year, SANRAL obtained an eviction order against hundreds of people who have been occupying the land illegally. Transport Minister Dipuo Peters addressed affected community members last night, saying the area is earmarked for road construction. We are now joined by Tiyani Rikhotso, who is the spokesperson for the Department of Transport. Thank you for joining us. Good to have you on the program.
Good morning and thanks for having us, Leon.
Why must the occupants be moved? Is there no other available plan?
Yes, they have to be moved because, as you correctly indicated, the land that they are currently occupying illegally is not conducive for human settlements. You don't have bulk infrastructure services such as running water, such as sanitation facilities and other amenities that are required for people to live decently. But second to that, the land in question belongs to the South African National Roads Agency Limited, which is an agency of the Department of Transport, hence our involvement. Yeah. And that area is earmarked for road construction to connect the communities of Strand. So hence we had to get to a situation where SANRAL goes to court to seek a court order which will basically see the people being moved. However, there is context and history to the issue that we are dealing with here. It's been going on for a number of years where SANRAL has been engaged in discussions with the city of Cape Town as the authorities responsible for ensuring that the people who reside in the city have access to all the services that I mentioned. Yeah. However, sometimes around 2011, we saw the city of Cape Town bailing out of the agreement that they had with SANRAL. And this agreement was to the effect that SANRAL would acquire private land, which it will then donate to the city, for the city to then relocate the people who would have been affected by the evictions. However, up until this day, the city has not come to the party. Hence, we ended up with a situation very unfortunate and regrettable, and the Minister of Transport has sincerely apologized to those families who were evicted, the brutal manner in which they were dealt with, and we are going to do everything in our power to make sure that their situation returns to normalcy. Now,
we know that the department has temporarily suspended these evictions, which is what we're running in the news this morning, and I know there was a meeting last night. What's the plan? What's the way forward? When is this all going to happen?
We are going to have a team of government officials supervised by the political principals within the Department of Transport, the Department of Human Settlements at national level. Will engage with the provincial government of the Western Cape and the city of Cape Town with a view to looking at a long-term solution, because we can provide temporary shelter for them. However, as you will know, people living in a community hall, there's nothing decent about that. There's no privacy. You have kids and parents running around in the same place. So we're therefore looking at a long-term plan. And as the Department of Transport, we are saying to the city of Cape Town that the land that SANRAL had acquired for them remains available, and they really need to come to the party so that we can avoid future recurrences of the kind of situations that we've seen yesterday and day before yesterday. And we believe that as responsible authorities who hold dear the principle of Batupili, they need to come to the party and make sure that the dignity of those people who have been evicted is restored.
Yeah. This meeting that was held last night, just talk us through what happened. What are some of the concerns of the tenants?
Well, we went there with the Department of Human Settlements, represented by its Deputy Minister, together with the Minister of Transport. We met with, firstly, community leaders, but also the actual families who were affected by the evictions. The idea was obviously for the minister who was there for the first time to assess the damage and the consequences of the eviction, but more so to provide temporary measures and solutions that could basically see these people carrying on with their day-to-day lives without being disrupted in the fashion that they have been disrupted. But thirdly, to then communicate to them what the long-term plans are. Because throughout the day yesterday, we've seen people who in the past, in this instance, the city of Cape Town, who have refused to come to the party to assist those people, now wanting to point a finger at national government and SANRAL in particular. So we're there just to say that as national government, we are responsible. We are not going to engage in any form of blame game or pointing fingers. We are here to provide solutions. And we did exactly that. And the members of the community were very happy that the ministers took their time out and basically went to engage with them and eventually communicated a decision that was basically in their best interest, because they said they do not mind being resettled where they were in the meantime while government is looking at long-term solutions. So moving forward, the Minister of Human Settlements, Ms. Lindiwe Sisulu, who's also part of this team, which includes the Minister of Transport, is going to launch an investigation inquiry to look at what was the role of each stakeholder involved in this whole situation, so that we can assist in coming up with, that investigation can assist in coming up with solutions moving forward to ensure that these people are housed decently and they live in areas which are conducive for human development.
Let's just talk about what happened, because a lot of people are very angry. They're very furious that these evictions took place without alternative accommodation being arranged prior to this. And the law states that that accommodation needs to be found before any eviction can be made at this point. And there always seems to be mudslinging between the government and the City of Cape Town, and the people are always the ones in the middle. You know, why did this happen in the first place?
It's quite unfortunate that we had the kind of situation that we had in the past 2 days, and hence the Minister of Transport felt that it was important to go to the ground as a minister politically responsible for SANRAL, which is the agency which was granted the court order by the Western Cape High Court. We conveyed our sincere reservations and apologies to those who are affected, that indeed they were supposed to have been resettled elsewhere before that court order could have been effected. By the way, noting that this court order is nothing new, it was actually granted on the 24th of January this year. So coupled with what SANRAL has been trying to do since 2011 and the past 6 months, they believe that they've done everything in their power. However, the City of Cape Town has not been willing to come to the party, because, as you know, it's their responsibility to make sure that the people who live in the City of Cape Town are given human settlements, decent human settlements. However, as national government, we believe that such blame games are not necessary, especially when we are dealing with people's lives, especially given the reason that the City of Cape Town is giving for pulling out of the deal that they had with SANRAL. They are trying to basically use a court dispute that they have with SANRAL so far as the development of the N2 Cape Winelands is concerned, and we believe that they are gambling with people's lives. All
right, let's leave it there for this morning. Thank you for joining us. Thanks for talking to us from our parliamentary studios. Tiyani Rikhotso, he is the spokesperson for the Department of Transport. All right, let's take a break. We'll have more after this. Stay tuned.